guys. I've been having some people asking me about a MNK Gears of War Reloaded settings video. I've had people asking me about Gears 5. I never got to it. Too lazy. The default settings weren't atrocious. The MNK settings in this game are pretty bad. So here we are. Let's go over it. Let's go into controls, keyboard and mouse. I switched everything to default so I can think it out as we're going, and just show you everything I have. Cover run. Switch this one to mouse wheel down on the secondary. This lets you weapon slide 99% of the time. While you're picking up a power weapon, holding down E obviously, spam the scroll wheel the whole time. While you're already holding down, before you even hold down E, just start spamming the scroll wheel. You're gonna weapon slide. It's not hard. You can't separate these two binds. Controller can. Yeah, TC said fuck the MNK kids, which, you know, it's par for the course for this community. Crouch / mark target is C. I recommend putting another secondary for that one because I normally use C to crouch, not to mark. I use mouse 5. That's what I used on Gears 5. It's just muscle memory. I'd suggest, doing something similar to what I have here. Turn left, turn right, empty, empty. Mouse sensitivity, that's still fast. They did make this a lot better than it was during UE. It's still kind of fast. It's not great, but at least it's got numeric values now. Double tap's off by default. Leave that off. WSAD, everyone uses that to move forward, backward, left, right on most games. Okay. Melee attack, I don't use F. I use left shift for melee. I use that on almost every game. And these binds are not as important as the other ones. I just went over. Melee, left shift for me. Reload R. Zoom weapon T. It's kind of out of the way. I don't like T. I use mouse 3. Primary, secondary, pistol, grenades. You need to learn the number keys 1, 2, 3, and 4. Suggest you learn these. The only one I didn't learn when I first started playing 5 for some reason was number 3, and I put that on G, but I know 3 now. I still use G on Gears. G's used on other games for grenades. It's not a bad key. If maybe you have trouble learning 3 like I did, you could try this. It helped me learn. Equip previous weapon, next weapon. Mouse scroll up, delete that. You do not want to be using scroll wheel to select your weapons on Gears. You're going to scroll past the weapon you need for that moment in time, and it's going to get you killed. Learn these, it won't get you killed. It can get you killed less, at least. Let's go to other. Pick up, use objects, I use E. Quick look is a trash setting that's on controller as well on alternate, and it's on their right stick, and it's causing people to look away from the engagement they're in, and it gets you killed. You have to bind this to a key. I've tried deleting it and getting out of here. It forces you to bind quick look. So put it on a key way out of the way. I'm putting it on P. Keep it way far out of the way. TACCOM, I use F for TACCOM. I noticed a ton of Gears player don't use the TACCOM at all times. You should pretty much be spamming this unless you're in an active fight. You should pretty much be spamming the TACCOM. See where your teammates are. It lets you know areas that may have been cleared already. Keeps you centered to your teammates. A lot of players don't use it, including some of my friends, and I don't understand that. Scoreboard tab, push to talk V. I'm glad TC added push to talk now that we don't have to have an open mic. At least they did one thing right. Let's go to reserved. Pause game. Open chat. NA. All these, you can leave them just how they are. Okay. I'm going to briefly touch on controller settings. I haven't played controller since 2019. The default settings on controller are at 15, 15, 15 right here. I would suggest going up to 30, 30, 30. This game's pretty slow. I've seen some of the pros run like 22, 22, 20. I would not leave it on 15, 15, 15. It's just too slow. And I'm not a pro player by any means. I know the cringe controller kids that watch my videos and just type on here on every video. I'm not acting like I'm a pro player. I'm just a ranked warrior at swipes. That's all I do. Vibration off. Control scheme alternate. Don't leave that on default. Move and look, default. And this default, I don't even know what some of these are. I didn't even read them. Yeah, you can, not a controller player anymore. There you go. Now let's go into display. So full screen on, VSync, turn that off. Frame limit used to be uncapped. They now have made it to where you have to leave it on. The highest you can go, excuse me, is 240. I have it set to 240. I can pull 240 consistently. FPS display, if you want to see your FPS. Advanced settings, if you're handheld, you could leave these on. If you play on a handheld device, I'm on a desktop, unlimited juice. I'm just going to leave these on off. Get max performance. Let's go into graphics. Anti-aliasing, you can actually turn that completely off. I know people have been having some crashing issues on the game. Try turning that off, maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. It's worth the try. Performance on resolution scaling, I play on medium. Well, this should, actually, I did have this set to medium. It just switches these balances around, which is, oh, okay. Yeah, you can just put it to custom, that way you can have certain things how you want it. I want resolution on performance, texture quality on medium, 4 times for filtering, shadow quality medium, ambient occlusion, performance, motion blur. I'd suggest turning that off. You don't need that. It's more for like single player story. Medium off. For screen space reflections, flash reduction on. Keep these settings. Now, let's go into audio. Music volume. Turn that down to 0 if you're a multiplayer guy. You don't need to hear music interfering with audio cues because the audio is almost non-existent in this game anyways. Try to hear everything you can. So I think these two are on 8 by default. Crank these up to 10. We got subtitles and we've got screen narration. So we added screen narration to the game for the game to read us to it, but they didn't add MNK to alternate. You know, TC's got their priorities straight. They know that Gears players can't read. They cannot read, dude. So, you know, the game's gonna read it for them. There's a lot of people typing in the text chat, and you know, a lot of that wouldn't get understand. They wouldn't even know how to talk shit back because they wouldn't even know what's said. And they also gave the option to change the voice for the narration. So you got Eric and Michelle here. Michelle, for all the people that have never heard a woman's voice in their life. There's plenty of Gears players, you know. TC, you know, we should. TC did a good job there. Let's clap our hands for him. No MNK alternate, but screen narration. Good shit. Push to talk on, since we got a keybind for that now. Okay. So we went over a lot of stuff here. The last thing I'm going to touch on is this right here. Your DPI for your mouse. When I first started playing MNK, I was on 400. It's not that fast, to be honest. It's good if you're new to the game and maybe you're missing a lot of shots on on the input. I play on 800 now. I've played on that for like the last 2 or 3 years now. It's an all-around good DPI. I've had friends when they first switched to MNK, they were on like 3,000. You know, doing the fancy flicking around, but they can't hit the broadside of a barn. You know, they just can't hit a shot. So 400 to 800 is usually the sweet spot. Just choose a DPI in a sense that's gonna work out for you. And one more thing, I think I touched on it. On controls, yes I did, mouse sensitivity. Leave that at 1. I'll just touch over this again. 1 or 0. It was worse before they added the numerical value, but it's still not the best. It's still kind of fast, but I have it on 1. And that's my MNK settings video for Reloaded. Please, TC, please add alternate to MNK. I'm tired of Vexies, you know, shitting on us. I can't even, you know, he's moving like Jesus across the map, and, you know, I'm rolling into him every time.